Frederick Hornof is a Paris-based artist working across fashion, design, video, AI, and ceramics. Represented by La Pax Division 2001 as part of the artist-director duo Hunter Hornof, his practice merges nostalgic glitch aesthetics, dreamlike narratives, and experimental visual techniques such as data moshing and body distortion. Balancing playfulness with critique, he explores how images shape desire, perception, and consumer culture. Fashion collaborations include the Attico, Balenciaga, Miu Miu, Mugler, amongst others.
Great. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Daniel, also for inviting me. It's a pleasure, even though it's just through video, but it's a pleasure to be here and speak with you and to share a little bit more about my work. And I don't know if Daniel already probably shared a small bio, but I'm a artist based in Paris, and I work mostly with video, AI, and image making. And in the past years, I've been working a lot in fashion with the brands that and magazines that you see below. And for today's talk, I really wanted to maybe just share some of my toolkits, my work experience, and the journey through different collaborations. But just to share a little bit more about my background. So I'm originally from Germany, but I went to study in Antwerp at the Fashion Academy. So I did my bachelor and master's there. So initially I had pursued like a fashion design direction. So then I worked in Paris for different brands like Mugler and smaller independent labels like Y Project. And at some point, as a fresh graduate, I thought I would like to also explore the idea of starting my own design label. And so I founded a concept that I called Hornof TV at that time. And at this point, I was already quite interested in video and image making. So I wanted to actually create for my brand, like which I did for the brand, an online store that was inspired by like QVC home shopping, like, you know, where you buy the mixers or jewelry, but translate this idea in a cinematic, atmospheric way. So for each of the collections that I did, I would like film little videos or a film that was presenting the garments, and then you could like on demand buy them through the online shop. And so the one film was a bit more Lynch inspired, the other one a bit Fassbinder. And so this was like quite an ambitious project. And I later also figured out that like design and running a fashion label is a different difficult concept, and I preferred making images and video. And so after like Antwerp, I relocated back to Paris, and then I pursued more the direction of video and art and image making. So just to dive in a little bit in the image making process, it started actually more as like a playful, extensive way of using also applications that are just available on the phone that, you know, they're actually used for optimizing your body. We all know these Beauty Plus apps that are to like minimize your waist, elongate your legs. Then you have face tuning that like exaggerates your smile or makes your hair lusher. So I found those at the time very interesting apps, and I kind of explored them more in a like less typical way, but more in a mundane use for, I don't know, still lives and with friends. And this was kind of just like an extension of my personal body of work that I started posting, and it opened up kind of, you know, through the community of fashion. People on Instagram, they saw it, and at Balenciaga, some of the image making team was really suggesting my work, and so I started collaborating um, on the feeds for Balenciaga. So this was like a really incredible experience and a great project to work with, because over the years, just to explain you how this process was taking place, when I was selected as one of the contributors, they would share garments for a period of time with me. So it would be runaway looks from maybe like 3, 4, or 5 looks for a period of time. So it could be as long as 4 days or a bit longer than a week. And in that period of time, it was like really carte blanche and a freedom to explore in different ways to make those images. And either it would be a still life, it could be just playing around with like close friends. I could do selfies, or really like a very free and playful image exploration. Of course, they also were really interested in the body modification part, because that was really like something that I found and developed for my images. And so I can share a little bit more of these. So I think instead of like kind of optimizing the body, it was more like a critical or a fun, playful way of exploring these applications. So it was really like exaggerating the legs, or just really distorting backgrounds and finding like fun ways of using these apps. And technically, it's just also like a Photoshop liquefied tool, but like I feel like it didn't have this like I never used it on the computer, but because on the app you have a much more expressive way of playing with these tools. So it was really very intuitive. And so over the years, it was always like different garments and different periods. And I would like then gather a lot of material and then submit it to the image team of Balenciaga. And then internally, they discussed and decided which one would be posted and selected. So sometimes it was also for the feed, sometimes it was newsletters, a bit of TikTok. So this was really like a great fun project, because it was really exploring and without any hesitation. So I could really really play along and find new languages within image making. And this kind of work I continued with different brands, smaller independent labels, and like another label that is actually a CBD brand of Always Judging, Courtney Trop from LA. And here I think it's kind of like interesting to see, because like it's actually a tincture to make you feel better. So I kind of like the idea of like making the smile exaggerated, making a tingling skin. So you can see it here on the right image, or really like distort the background in the center image. And then on the left, you can see it was actually a 3D scanning of a friend lying in her bed smoking a cigarette. And it was kind of like a playful way to make it look like distorted smoke, and matching the brand's ethos. So this is just like a little bit of a chapter about like intuitive extension of image making for different brands. And then I also explored video work for myself with data moshing and glitching. So there were different filters or plugins, and there's this app Glitchy, which I enjoyed. And I was actually just doing artwork for my Instagram as well. And then it found a bit of attraction also with a stylist. And I got like a call from Miu Miu to come and do backstage videos for their social media. And so it was really like exciting to work on this project. I will share a few of these clips, because it was very dense period of time of making like it's very short. You go backstage, they always invite an artist that has with the different models like 5 minutes to do a few videos, and then it has to be posted the next day. So it's very like fast and intuitive way of working. And it's kind of like also an exploration of glitch and TV nostalgia. So it's a lot of like disruptive visuals. So maybe I can just share these. They're quite like short, 15-second each clip. Could you hear the sound as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, these clips were kind of also really about dissonance and disruptiveness and like very twisted and turning and really to play with yeah, almost like stressing out the viewer, because this was the soundtrack also from the catwalk. So playing around with these visuals was really yeah, we are so overloaded with information on Instagram that this is kind of maybe also a social way of digesting and making it even more stressful and playful. And so I collaborated on a couple of projects with Mio Mio. So this was one of them, which was very exciting. And furthermore, then we worked on a summer collection as well. So here it's also, I mean, just to mention that all these works were also filmed with an iPhone. So it's just to say how incredible it is of a tool to just film with the gimbal and to also use After Effects or like plugins to that exist in different ways. So it's, yeah, it's quite something to play with. So yeah, these videos were also like mixing a lot of different filters and ways of playing with stop motion, with set design, with glitching, and just really like a playful maximalist way of content. And so just for this body of work, I also continued working with different brands such as the Attico or the magazine Marfa Journal and Givenchy. And here it's kind of like work that also captures a sort of like dreamscape, a bit like old vintage nostalgic aesthetic and a bit of CCTV. And for example, the one on the left with Gabriette, it was like a some content and video material that was focusing on their clutch bags. So I worked on a little like text that is actually about starting a car clutch instead of like focusing on the back. It's kind of a play with like the wrong clutch and
as you gently release the clutch, begin to press the accelerator very delicately. Congratulations, you're driving in first gear.
So yeah, I think it's quite clear within these videos that I like to play with like unexpected transitions and different like material of mixing one image with the other. So yeah, I can continue with showing like my most recent work. So basically these were like works that I did with like image and then also working with video. And as I really like in like different technologies and plugins and filters, I was really like naturally drawn to also exploring AI. So it was about like a year ago that I was starting to play with different generative tools. And at the same time, a friend of mine, Alex Yeager, he was also working a lot with AI. So we decided actually to join and become a directive duo and AI artist duo. So since we started working, we published some works that I show in a moment. And we now have been like already signed by agency in France, in Paris, which is called 2001. And it's like a subdivision of La PAC, which is an agency that represents a lot of filmmakers and artists and also in movie making. So it's been quite like already nice traction just with the AI work that we started doing. Our first work within AI together was actually a cover story for the magazine Pop, which was shot by Reto Schmidt. This is a story that was focusing on a collection from Celine. And just to share a bit information about the shoot, it's not fully AI generated, but actually it's a hybrid shoot. So there's still real models, there was a real set designer, there was real stylist and photographer, and we worked together to join the shoot by generating the backgrounds. So for example, you can see that the shoot is mainly focused on the idea of a metropolitan scene of people on the phone, connectivity, and all on the same photo booth. So the foreground of the concrete floor and, for example, the two phone booths are real set design. And we then generated the scenes for the background. Yeah, you can see some more of so it was really finding different ways of at nighttime, during the day, to find and also to explore for ourselves different ways of a real city atmosphere. And maybe just to give a little bit more of insight on how we created or how we work in these shoots is that initially when there's a project, we do a big research. For this, it was the metropolitan urban landscape. We find we look around, what is the mood we want to portray, and then we work with generative tools to create almost a catalog of many different backgrounds. And so this is a set that we create to arrive on the shoot day. So for us, it's also really important to not become post-production studio, but actually are involved in the image making. And so we come to the shoot on set, and we see also what is possible, how maybe new ideas evolve, what makes sense with the garment, with the mood of the model, how is actually, how the set and the shoot evolves. So we kind of go along with this feeling. And then we sit together at the end with the photographer. So we create mock-ups that are cut out already in Photoshop or generated. And then we do a final selection, maybe come up with new ideas. And then the backgrounds are upscaled with different tools like Topaz. And then they're sent to a post-production studio to stitch them together. So this is kind of a workflow that we started learning and by exploring how we can create hybrid shoots. And then what actually derived from the final images that you just saw from the shoot, we also wanted to explore the filmmaking aspect with AI, so moving images. So based on every image from the story from Pop, we created the little film, of course, with the consent of every model, which is, I think, very important in these days to ask if everyone is okay to be animated with AI. And we created, based on the images, a kind of film noir love story, a bit cheesy video film that I can share with you here.
I lean into the receiver as if your breath might cross the miles.
As if desire could be dialed.
As if love were not always a half-lit echo in a world forever shifting.
The city flickers, it forgets, it changes.
But here, I hold the line.
Waiting for desire to turn into a voice I can touch.
Into a promise carried through wires older than both of us.
So yeah, for this story, you can see that we also created voices, AI generated different types of voices. We created a soundscape. We had some B-roll material that kind of captures the beginning and the end, and then we animated the in-between parts. So it became kind of like a short little fashion film. And this is like really an interesting way to explore the potential of an image and how to actually animate it for different brands. And like now we've been working a lot in different fields with different brands. So we also did a hybrid shoot again with Reto because he enjoyed working this hybrid way. We did it for a wardrobe campaign for Mugler, and here it was like an interior mood. So we worked more with like cold and warm materials. So the generative tools were to work with concrete, mirroring effect, and like wood. And so here. So it's almost like also the tool of AI can like replace the concept of green screen, but it also allows you to explore much more when you're on set. And we had like catalogs of so many images in the same direction, and you also have to find different angles because like sometimes the photographer shoots more from above or from below. So it's really like a very interesting way to merge these image making worlds. And also like creating, for example, we had in real on set the mirror, and it was just in a white studio, but to generate like a mirrored background is much easier than I think with post-production or different other ways. And so just to share another aspect of the work that I think is really interesting with AI is to fully generate a concept or explore characters and set design and filmmaking. So during the Christmas season, we worked on a little video that just focuses on these kind of decaying divas in their room celebrating by themselves. And it became kind of like a scripted little movie. So I would like to share this.
I always loved both parts of it, the ceremony and the collapse. The polished shoes, the rituals we pretend are ancient, the candles lit as if we remember why. I dress for it properly, of course, even if no one sees me leave. Festive customs are fascinating. They give structure to excess. They tell us when to toast, when to kiss, when to pretend we are complete. I respect that. I respect good timing. But it's the after that really interests me. The quiet choreography once everyone has gone home. Lipstick left on the rim of a glass. Music still humming in the walls. Unsure if it's allowed to stop. That's when things become honest. Tonight it's just me, alone in this condo that knows my habits too well. Silk on the sofa, heels abandoned like evidence. I pour one last drink because it feels correct, not because I need it. There's a difference. I adore both, the formal invitation and the unofficial continuation, the rules and the breaking of them, the toast and the unbuttoning.
Yeah, so this is really like a way of exploring characters, setting, moods, and I think for that AI generative tools are really like a way to dream and find new ways of exploring one's creativity. And I think in general, like just to share a little bit which tools we are using, it's like it's actually there's not one tool that does everything. There's not one way to really just focus with one generative engine, but we mix different tools. Like, for example, Midjourney is very interesting for mood board making. Kling is very interesting for like animating videos, also Runway and Crea and Veo. And then like voice generative parts or sound design you can do with Suno. So I think in general, like it's really interesting to explore different of these tools and find one's own way to integrate it and see how image making for what one wants to say makes sense within these tools. And I think like just in general, what I find interesting is that within like the times we live, that we can explore so many techniques and combine so many different ways of working. Like you can use a Facetune app, you can combine it with AI, you can like make a whole storyboard, you can really like there's so much that you can do individually with your computer, but like I think it's really interesting to not just stay within one's comfort or alone exploring it, but actually to collaborate. That's why I think that pushing for like hybrid shoots and meeting other people and combining this will also like really improve the use of AI and exploring this work for image making. And yeah, so I think this is a little bit about how I've been navigating like image, video, and AI generative tools. Maybe it resonates with some of you or inspires someone to work in a different way, or maybe you have some questions in particular.
Great. Thanks very much, Fred.
My pleasure.
Hand over. Does anyone have any questions for Fred? I can't actually see anyway, so yeah, maybe maybe okay. Yeah.
Hello.
From I guess the Facetune apps and morphing the body and now to image generation. Like throughout this journey, what does an image mean to you? Like, what's your end goal? What do you want to find out?
I think it's like a cultural exploration. Also, I feel like from this Facetune aspect, it's kind of more critical, playful way, because if we use these Facetune apps, it's usually to improve our body, but like if you play with a more joyful way or an unexpected way, it can also like maybe shift your aspect on is this really the right way to go, and to like tune, like to lie and with your body. So it's kind of like a cultural exploration. If I do AI generative work, for example, about like this loneliness of the woman during festive season, it's kind of also like a playful way of maybe mirroring some aspects that are maybe difficult to look at, or yeah. But I think like an image has so many different ways, and it actually is the person that looks at it that will decide what it means to them. So like, I don't think I want to just give one direction to perceive the image, but like there's many different ways to what it means to the person. So if that makes sense.
Maybe just off the back of that, I was wondering, because you've come from a fashion sort of design background, I was wondering how has your kind of shift towards image making, and especially kind of image making using certain kinds of, I guess, what was once referred to as kind of like emerging technologies, how or has that sort of changed how you understand fashion, and I guess like the role of fashion within our contemporary hyper-mediated kind of world, I guess?
I think we're like in such a hyper-dense environment of image making now, and like I think as a designer, when I was like, it was always like such perfect images, and like I think it shifted away a little bit in a bit more like creating a discourse for myself of like less emphasizing only the garment and less but more like critical in a sense. So I think like maybe also the older you grow and the more you like see things and experience, maybe then what's important to you shifts in a different way. So maybe in the beginning it's like glamorizing fashion, and then it becomes maybe also like exploring this like anti vision or a bit more like a critical point of view. So I think like over the time from the garment making that I think was much more like precise and neat, I think I kind of like let go as well and like try to explore image making in a much more like intuitive, fast way. And
great. Does anyone else have? Okay. Yeah, you also have to kneel and
hello, hi.
Spoke to another AI image maker who was working in fashion, and his goal with his images was always, he used the word infiltrate a lot, which I found really interesting. His all the images he would produce were very like, textural, very based on like vibe and affect, and his goal was always to like fool and trick people. And I noticed that in your presentation, you used the word integrate. So I wonder if that's kind of your ethos with AI image making, if it's about integration and also infiltration, especially in the fashion industry. I feel like we want to be able to discern more, or that's kind of our survival instinct, is to want to discern, but then there's some other people who just want to fool and trick, and kind of make AI as part of the process, like subconsciously. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, so integrate or trade.
I mean, that's an interesting question. I think it's also, I don't think there's like it's one way or the other, but like what I notice now working with clients that are very, very excited about AI and the possibility to cut costs on production. So like some other more commercial brands, they can demand visuals or like create like one shoot but in 5 different locations, and for them it's highly important to create this like an image that is barely recognizable, that it has been done with AI. And so in one way they like, I don't think that our image making in with Hunter Hornof is about like fooling people, but it's actually like it's a technology that we want to also experiment with to see how far we can go. But like the narrative for us is not just to desert people or make them not understand if it's AI or reality, but like it's just also a tool that it's exponentially so fastly growing, and there's new updates every week. So what was like possible in the beginning 1.5 years ago, we were doing like glitchy videos because there was no other way, and then now it gets like almost scary real, and it's kind of like we're navigating this growing technology. And I think it's still also very new environment for us as image makers to explore. So I don't think I can say that it's about like I want to go this way or like or the other way.
Again, maybe off the back of that, I was wondering, because in your presentation you presented the slide with the kind of your current kind of workflow. And I was thinking about that kind of question of, I guess, like integration, and you were also referring to kind of this kind of hybrid approach to kind of the image making. I was wondering sort of like how do you see that or your workflow developing in relation to the use of various kinds of AI tools or models? And I guess then off the back of that, this kind of second part of that question was also then sort of like what are you most excited about in terms of the use of kind of AI or the developments of certain kind of AI tools, models, etc.?
I think like in terms of excitement for like, I think we're naturally like with Hunter Hornof, with Alex and I, we're naturally really driven to filmmaking and actually video creation. So the campaign images or the pop shoot are more like the starting point. Like, so to create an image, but then actually we want to like explore more the video making. So I think the way video making within AI is advancing is, I think, what interests us the most, because there's really this constant, like you have to be really well informed. Now there's an update for Luma Labs, then there's an update. So it's really like on point to test, and also like what makes sense for facial animation, because like which I think sometimes it's interesting that you can also use ideation, like maybe we want to like do some real shoots, video shoots with AI to pitch a story and then recreate it in real. So like in a way, like the filmmaking aspect is the part that interests us most within AI tools right now. And like I think
So I was going to say, look, I guess like with the idea of I guess like video making or filmmaking, I guess is that also something that you see, I guess like the integration of AI tools or models into other software as part of the filmmaking process? Sorry. Because I guess I was thinking like currently image video making or producing kind of videos, etc. on using AI has, at least up to this point, been quite isolated in the sense of like you use a specific model, and whether it's runway or Pika or whatever it would be, and it generally like may produce like a 10-second video. But I guess like, do you see that AI video making being integrated into other types of software or platforms, or different, or integrated into other processes that or workflows that you have developed yourself?
I think it will expand in a way. Like I think when you work with Adobe, they're developing ways of how to like dissect layers, how to maybe manipulate only one part in AI. And I think in the future, this will be an interesting way to see how they will explore, just having one background part of the video to be generated or changed. So I think that is overall very exciting and interesting. But I do feel like that there's room for only the AI generated film, but I think it will not ever really fully replace also the real filmmaking. And like I think it should be a hybrid way of exploring, or like I think I mean, we are exploring, for example, also like human emotions with just animating a video or like animating lips. Like right now, there's like such a limit because you get such a short amount of time that you can then use for a film if you want to like keep it really realistic. And so, and I don't know if that's the point to have like super realistic, almost like deep fake video storytelling. So I think it's exciting and scary direction to see how. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? Maybe not. If the last question, again, the question that I've been asking all of the speakers to over the summit was obviously the theme of the summit is around sort of fashion and optimization. And so the question I've been asking everyone is sort of like, in your view, kind of what are we being kind of optimized for? And what is the kind of, definition of kind of optimization?
I mean, I think personally, I would like see it as like optimizing oneself in that sense. And what would I optimize the most? If I optimize my body, it's probably like cultivating my brain. That's kind of what I would direct this aspect to. So, you know, I think it's more superficial ways of maybe thinking about body morphing, or like this is kind of like interesting ways to play with. But ultimately, I think cultivating your brain, reading books, collaborating, and I think that is the way of optimizing oneself and optimizing everyone together. And I think that's where I think should everyone individually be optimizing themselves. And I mean, the brain is part of the body as well, so it's it's a very important.
That's a great answer. I fully endorse that. So I guess with that, I'd say like thanks very much, Fred. It was amazing, like amazing work, and hopefully
Thank you so
we'll
much.
speak and invite you to London whenever we get the chance.
With pleasure. Thank you so much, everyone.